Hello and welcome to another episode of Women Locked Up Before and After. In this video, we're going to be talking about a time that I was in jail and there was another female inmate there that, just like the title says, she was accidentally sent to prison. And I'm also going to be talking about how she reacted to the day of and on the bus, even when she got off the bus and in prison. So let's talk about it. First of all, I had already been waiting on the bus to come and get me to go to prison for a while. Every Monday morning, I knew that the bus was going to wind up coming to get somebody, if it was on the men's side, which was the state side, or they was going to come and get some of the females. It was always Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sometimes even on a Friday, the bus would come and pick up inmates. Here we go. Well, I was in jail with her. Yeah, she had already been in jail for about 7 months already and had been waiting to go home on house arrest. She'd already been to see the judge. They already sentenced her to house arrest, and she was happy because she was getting to go home. This was supposed to be her first time ever getting in trouble, and she got house arrest. Yeah, after waiting week after week after week to hear those doors pop and hear the names called out to get ready, get all of our stuff together. They'll say, such and such, pack up, time to go. But when they go home, it's almost similar to that. So people actually get their hopes up, It's like you want to hear them say, pack up, you're going home. And, when you're going to prison, you already know what that popping is early in the morning. You know it's going to be somebody called out to go. Because court don't usually get called out till about 8:30 in the morning. But yeah, after waiting week after week on the bus to come, I hadn't had that gut feeling like all night that night, and I had hardly had no sleep. I had that feeling the bus was coming. That just gut feeling, even butterflies in your stomach. Just you know it's going to happen. Well, it did happen. They called out two names. It was her name and then my name, and I was like I already didn't know. I mean, I already knew what it felt like to hear my name be called to get packed up to go to prison. It's not a very good feeling at all. I hated it. Even if you've been there several times, it's still a really scary feeling knowing you're fixing to go to prison again or for the first time. After they called our names out, something hit me. I already knew where I was going, but I looked around. I was like, wait a minute, ain't that girl? She's supposed to be going on house arrest? And like literally before I could say anything, everybody just started going berserk, saying, wait a minute, this girl's going home on house arrest. She can't go to prison. What do y'all do? Y'all got something wrong. And that girl started bawling her eyes out. I mean, I'll be scared too. I'm supposed to be going home on a house arrest, and they call me out saying I'm going to prison, and I'm supposed to be going home in 5 days at that. Oh yeah, I'm going to be up there banging on the window saying, hey, I need to talk to somebody. But she was. She tried talking to people, and they said, we can't do nothing about it. Your name's on this roster, so you got to go. I mean, people was helping her. She was crying at the same time. I felt so bad for her. It was just really awful at that time. Everybody was trying to talk to the guards, and they were saying, we can't do anything about it. She'll have to just call her family when she gets down there. She's like, when I get down there, because see, when you get down there, you can't just use the phone right away unless you've been there before. If you still know your inmate ID number for the phone, you're fine. And until you update it, you can't use the phone. Or if it's your first time, you can't use the phone until you get an inmate ID number for the phone. Oh yeah, I also remember she actually was trying to get to another officer who was like a sergeant or something. She didn't get to finish talking to her. That woman told her, she said, look, I done told you, and they done told you, pack your effing stuff up right now and let's go. We only have so many minutes to get y'all over there, which was intake, and it had a holding tank right there behind intake. That's where we had to wait until the bus come. So the bus would call 30 minutes before they got there, and that's why they come and got us to get our stuff so early. Also, before we went into the holding tank, we had to dress back into our regular clothes that we had on when we came in, because like 2 or 3 years before that, you wore a yellow jumpsuit down there, and your family could come and get your clothes or whatever. But now you have to wear the clothes that you wore to jail. Now, a lot of people has actually had their family bring them stuff up there so they wouldn't have to throw away what they wore up there. Some people had brand new stuff that they had on, you know. But yeah, they had us change out into our regular clothes. And I remember one thing that literally just, it shocked me when I actually thought about it. Every single time that I got locked up, the times that I went to prison, and I had the same flip-flops on every single time. And I noticed it when I was in there that day. And I never noticed it before. It just hit me because I guess that's when I wanted to ask them if I can use my flip-flops for shower shoes. Because some people can do it if it's black or dark brown. Mine were dark brown, but they wouldn't let me. They would pick on me all the time. But after they changed us out and everything, put our clothes back on, everything that we had like in our locker or whatever, it went into a bag, and they would have a printout with our picture mugshot. That paper was in the bag to identify whose property it was, and they would call the family member, or they would tell you, you can call them when you get down there. But usually you would leave a phone number with them and they would call them and tell them to come pick your property up. But after that, they had us put in handcuffs, belly chain, shackles, the whole 9 yards. Now, here's where it starts getting interesting. This girl talked all the way there. After this whole long trip, the one that I was in jail with had been sitting beside me the whole time, worried about everything, talking about it and everything. Well, we get to the prison. Every time you first get to the prison, they do a head count when you first come in the main gate. But I'm talking about when you first get to what they call the RNC clinic. That's where they do all your processing. They do your fingerprints, your mugshot. When you first get there, we all get out. I think altogether, including me, there was 9 women in. Looks like a van to me, but it's a bus. Anyway, Department of Corrections, transportation. So we step off the bus and we all line up on the ramp. There's a ramp that goes up to the main door when you first get there, before you even step into RNC. Well, we're all standing there and they're telling us to keep our nose on the wall the whole time. There's people trying to ask questions. The people actually getting cussed out for just saying anything at all. They're telling people to raise their hands when they call their last name out. They're also asking if they have any broken bones, metal in their body, if they're pregnant. But right there, when they're asking you that question, people don't realize, hey, you know how people want a bottom bunk so bad? But in prison, it's hard to get a bottom bunk unless you are in a wheelchair or really, really old. It's really hard to get a bottom bunk, or if you're missing a limb or something. But anyway, we're all standing there. The girl beside me, the house arrest girl, all of a sudden hands me her Bible and says, "Hold this for a second, please. Hold on, hold." I could hear it in her voice. Her voice was going, it was like it was slowly fading. And all of a sudden she was like that, and just fell back, like passed out, literally passed the freak out, and scared me to death. And see, you're not supposed to step out of line, but I was wanting to help her at the same time. And I knew if I stepped out of line, I'd get in trouble, but I still did it. I stepped out of line, and I was like, I seen her eyes roll back in the back of her head. I knew she wasn't faking then. Some people fake a lot. Well, a lot of people fake a lot in prison, especially when they first get there. And of course, you got to understand, this girl is still freaking out because she's supposed to went home in 4 or 5 days from the jail on house arrest, not go to prison. So this girl's probably got a lot of things going on in her mind, and she don't know nothing. She's never been to prison before. That was her first time in jail that I know of. Right after she passed out and I freaked out for a second, I went back to look at her. I was like, oh my gosh. And I tried to look up at one, because they wasn't even looking. They didn't know she was laying there yet. There was a rail that we was standing in front of, but against the wall also at the same time. But there was a rail out there, but her head hit the rail when she fell back. I was looking at one of the guards, and I was like, at the same time, I didn't want to get in trouble. I was like, excuse me. And all of a sudden, when I said that, I had like almost everybody in the whole line look at me also. I was like, this girl's just passed out. I didn't want to say nothing else. I just said that, and they all came over there, but I still kept, kind of looking back to see if they was actually going to do anything about it. First, they wanted to see if she was faking, I guess. They put something in front of her face, and that's what made her come to. That's how I knew she wasn't faking, because that woke her up. But at first they was trying to smack her on the face and everything else. I was like, what the heck? But they let her go ahead and go in so they can get her checked out. I think they said they checked everything and everything seemed to come out okay. But of course, in prison, everything's always okay when it comes to health. You're always okay. As long as you're breathing, you're okay. So aside from all that commotion and everything, after a couple of days she was there, she did ask a lot of questions to everybody, and yes, she was getting on people's nerves. I had to talk to her a little bit and explain to her, you can't just go up to anybody and just ask a lot of questions, because they don't like that, especially the lifers, because you're in there with the lifers and everything. She started getting a little bit better with everything, but then she had another spell again where she passed out in the dining hall. They think that it might have been her sugar, but it just wasn't coming up right or something. I don't know. But she had two spells altogether with her passing out. She did get to go home on her regular date that she was promised, even though she had to spend exactly 5 days in prison. I wonder something. Do y'all think that maybe it was a sign? Okay, they say all things happen for a reason. Not everybody believes that, but sometimes I think about that, what happened with her, and I wonder if maybe that happened to her for a reason, to straighten her up, to let her see what prison is like. I've never seen that happen to anybody. I've seen people get lost in the system while they're in prison, but I've never seen nobody go on an accident. Now, if you have, comment below on that too. Let me know. But yeah, I felt bad for her having to literally be there when she wasn't supposed to be there. I just wonder, if it was a sign that she needed to see what it was like, because I'm not sure what her charges were. I never did ask questions. I didn't ask people what their charges were and stuff like that. Now, yeah, every now and then I'd listen in to somebody's conversation. If they're close by, heck yeah, I'm going to listen. Or bored, ain't got nothing else to do but count the bricks in the wall. I know plenty of people actually try to do that too. Count the bricks on the wall. I didn't, but I'm just saying, I know somebody did. Anyway, yeah, I just want to let y'all know about that crazy experience that she went through. I mean, what would you do if that happened to you? Comment below on any of this. Yeah, I want to see comments on this video. I want you to let me know how you would do in a situation like that. What would you do? Because I'm going to tell you something. Mississippi Guard, they don't care what you have to say. If you're on their roster, you're going to prison. And you're going to be there until whatever day's on that paper. But it was a mystery why she went down there. Nobody ever found out why. But it was a mistake. And she got sent to prison, and she got out in 5 days. Her family actually came all the way down there to pick her up. She finally got to go home on her date. And she was so happy. Oh yeah, she was happy. But anyway, y'all, thank you for watching again, and I hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions, please comment below and let me know something you want me to talk about. Or let's try to get me on a collaboration with somebody. I want to see how that goes, because I want to tell the story again about what happened to me in prison. I'm not going to talk about that now. Anybody who's watched any of my videos and knows what happened to me when I was in prison, they already know. But anyway, shout out to Convict Podcast, and that's his channel name. I want to shout him out because he's really awesome, and I like y'all to check him out. Y'all, thank you so much for watching, and please like and comment below on anything in this video you want to comment about. I don't care what it is. Comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and peace and love y'all. Bye.